Hey, Crypto Hotep here, back again with another video. This time the video is not going to be covering any trade or any finished trades. It's not going to be a trade review video. It's going to be more so on my thoughts on the current state of the market with crypto, and then also where I think it's going to be going based on the events that just happened in the past 24 to 48 hours. Before we jump in, as always, disclaimer, please consult somebody professional if you're thinking about trading crypto, as it is a very volatile asset. And anything I say is not financial advice at all. I do these videos primarily for my edification and my journaling purposes, and just to ensure that I'm doing everything, or that everything has a proper step, and I have a proper strategy and my steps are being followed. So with that being said, the chart you see here is total 3. If you're not familiar with the crypto market cap charts, there are there may be 4, but I focus on the top, or the top 3 total charts. So you have total 1, which is the entire crypto market cap. You have total 2, which is the crypto market cap without Bitcoin listed. And then you have this total 3 that we're viewing here, which is basically the altcoin market without ETH, without BTC. So with that being said, the last couple of days have been interesting. So this whipsaw candle here is that flush that happened the day prior. So if you were on Twitter or whatever social media, a big flush happened where price literally pushed up to all-time highs and then went back down and grabbed leverage and liquidity and literally just went back into the range. But if you were focused on social media narratives, you would have think that everything was over, bull run was done, pack it in, bears are coming out, and that's simply not true. What price did essentially was just level set the market cap again, or level set the market, I should say, and reset. So basically what happened is you have a lot of leverage traders that double, triple, 10x their 10x, 100x leverage on contracts, perpetual futures on crypto, that were longing crypto at the top and then also shorting as well. So what essentially happened was price took out both sides of the traders on both ends and just reset its price back. So that's again, this flush yesterday um, was, or kind of stays as a reminder in my mind that I made the right decision to just stick with spot, to just buy spots, because a couple reasons. You own that coin, right? You probably believe in that coin or that project. And then when these flushes and these flushes happen, or these dumps in price, typically it's unaffected by the spot traders. Yeah, does it hurt to see a red P&L with your spot trade currently that you're in? Sure, but it's not as much as if you were in a leveraged trade. And sometimes with the leveraged accounts, those leveraged accounts are blown as well from the exchange itself, canceling or terminating the account. So with that being said, I was already in trades and I sat very comfortably. So just to recap, we have this whipsaw candle, which basically targets traders from both ends, whether you're long or short, you're done for. And then price reset itself back in this range right here. And you can see price pushing up now. So again, my position currently is in alts, and I feel very bullish on alts right now, especially where I think Bitcoin is, and we may see a little bit of choppy price action with Bitcoin. And if we do, based on the cycle of money flowing into crypto, the next step is for alts to have their day. And if you're unfamiliar with the cycle, typically with the money flows, it goes from Bitcoin to Ethereum and then literally to all the rest of the alts, and then lastly to the meme coins. So with that said, we're looking at 678 to clear that. We haven't cleared it as of yet, but what I am looking for is price. We may see price dip down here, but this is what I would like to see. Price break through, retest, and then come up right there. So this is what I would like to see from the altcoin market cap. We'll see if we get it. And let's jump right into Bitcoin. Okay, so with Bitcoin, we have a couple things going on here. So with my chart, as always, the blue rectangles are monthly key levels. So they're based off a monthly time frame, and your daily levels or the daily flip resistance or daily flip support are based off of weekly levels that also coincide on the daily side. Okay. And one thing I did note is I noted back in say mid-January, we had that 20% drop where we went from about 48 down to call it 38, so a 10K drop, only to push back up higher. We haven't had a drop like that yet. Even the flush yesterday, it still didn't hit the 20% mark. Not saying that it can happen or it will happen, but I always have that in the back of my mind because that's what Bitcoin it really likes to do, is play those little liquidity and price games. But here, this is what I mentioned when we were speaking about total, when we were looking at the total three chart, is here with Bitcoin, you're kind of stuck. We're stuck between a kind of a rock and a hard place here. So currently, I would say daily resistance is near that all-time high, right? That 69 kind of price, that 69 price point here. Okay. So price is currently cracked above 65, which I did want to see. And I wanted to see price push past 65 and close above it. It did do so. Currently, we're sitting at 66,243. So what I think will happen is we may see a lot of choppy price action with Bitcoin and a lot of liquidity games. So you may see a lot of this come in, this, and then maybe potentially this. So something like, an inverted head and shoulders potentially for Bitcoin. But that's what I'm thinking will happen because if Bitcoin chops around or takes a little bit of a breather, then that provides the liquidity for those altcoins to pump, which is what I would like to see. Okay. And let's look at ETH. Okay. Here we go. With ETH chart looks fantastic. I have no idea why anybody would short this. It looks great. So as you can see, it's kind of clear as day. Consistent uptrend. We've been on a consistent uptrend since the beginning of February, and we're still pushing higher. So we still haven't reached resistance. I'm waiting for resistance at about, I would say 39.50 or so. 39.50 resistance, and we may come back. Let's see here. Get this tool. We may come back here and then push back up. So I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind this retest to this area because again, you have BTC chopping around. Ethereum may take a little bit of a break, may do a slight pullback to daily flip support, and with that, the alts may pump. So either way is fine with me, or this push can go here right from there and then do a retest and then hit around the 4,300 mark. That would be fine too, because there are times within the cycle where ETH and the alts pump at the same time, especially if it's an Ethereum ERC20 token. Okay. So with that being said, guys, we can jump right into a couple of the trades that I am currently in. First one being BNT, or Bancor. So with BNT, I've I've been in this trade a while. So I've been in this trade, I would say, since almost Christmas, right? Very long trade. And why was I in this trade? Well, this trade in particular, this looked very good only because we had a lot of accumulation that I did notice around the 75 cents area. It's a lot of accumulation. Another thing I did notice was I kind of, took a step and looked left, and the last leg up, price did the same thing here. So again, price pushed up, wicked the monthly key level, dropped down into the monthly key level for support, chopped around with accumulation, only to push back up higher. Again, we always say in trading, history doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme. So this is essentially what I was looking for here. And one thing I did notice is we had a power of 3, one of my favorite patterns, where we have accumulation, manipulation here, and then distribution. Okay, so that's what we're waiting on. And my target is a little, as always, it's a little bit conservative, so a little bit lower than, I would say, the 116 monthly key level for BNT. So a little bit lower than that, but all in all, the trade's good. It's been a heck of a time trying to hold this because, BNT does not move very fast. It moves at a snail's pace, but still holding it, I still feel good about the trade. Next trade we have is ACH, or Alchemy Pay. So Alchemy, this trade, I essentially got in when price was sitting at the key level at about almost 3 cents, thinking that it would do a quick break and retest here, as you can see, um, to 3.5 cents. Now, it didn't do that because that's when the flush happened with this big red candle here, but the big red candle obviously sat right into daily support. So I still felt good about this trade, even though we were a little bit in the red the day prior. And what I told myself was, if we have candles that turn red and then that go below our daily support area, then I'll cut that trade. And I did note my cut trade area here. Now, when I do trade and I want to say get rid of the trade, cut it, terminate it, the candles have to fall underneath a key level in succession. So it has to keep falling for me to get rid of that, trade, and for me to turn it and be invalidated. The candles, there has to be multiple red candles, and they have to be of size, just so I know that there is that definitive invalidation. Fast forward to this trade, this didn't happen. All we had was a long wick here that was looking for liquidity and taking out a low, probably this low here from, say, February 28th, grab that liquidity, and now we're pushing back up. Now, have we cleared this level yet? No, but I still feel good about this trade. Okay. And the next trade we have is our good old friend Chainlink. So Chainlink is also a crypto that moves at its own pace. So, which is a good and a bad thing. So Essentially, I got into this trade at 1963. This dropped to daily flip support, which I was totally fine with because I had a little cash on the side, because I had a feeling that price would dip down below, because Chainlink does like to do that. It plays a lot of liquidity games similar to Bitcoin, but it plays them very well. So it did dip down, targeted daily support, and I bought in again. And then we pushed up higher here. I thought this would be a retest. It wasn't, because again, we had that flush. And where did that flush go to? Bump, ba, bump. It went right to daily support again. And again, liquidity was drawn off that support, probably took out this low here. And then now we're here. And now we finally broke back over the close to the $20 mark here. And that is a key level for Chainlink. So what I would like is, obviously, I would like price to full on retest this area, and then we can get a bounce straight to that 24 mark. Okay. And we have Teller or TRB. So TRB, very similar to BNT, with why I got into this trade. So again, I noticed accumulation that has been going on since, really, honestly, the ranging has been going on since the beginning of January, and it's just kind of not really broken this level, just stayed around. And I said, hey, this is a pretty good price for this. I wouldn't mind paying this for TRB to jump in. It's a lot of accumulation that's going on, and I finally pulled the plug and got into this trade here. So one thing, let me just zoom this out here. Okay, so essentially I got in at 114.36. Then I bought back in at 115.34 once I saw a price kind of break through and then retest this area. But again, we had the flush. Where did that flush go though? It went to a key level. See, and that's a huge thing that I think a lot of traders need to realize, and a lot of new traders. It's proper to annotate those charts. Draw your levels out, mark the levels, because typically price will be attracted to those levels. They may not hit them exactly, but they'll hit somewhere near that level. And that's exactly what price did here. You can see here that price essentially we just wicked down, caught a level, got some liquidity there, and now we're pushing back up here. So I still feel good about this trade. If we dip down again, I don't see us doing that, but if we do, I may think about cutting it. But as of right now, I have a good feeling about it. And the reason I do have a good feeling about this trade is because that power of three. So I did notice the accumulation here. I honestly thought that price would bounce off, essentially price would break through, which it did, bounce off, and then go and then shoot back up. We had that flush. So when I saw that, I said, oh, okay, well, I've seen this before, because this is literally what BNT did. I had a trade with XLM. This is what XLM did. And essentially it's just that power of three again. We have manipulation, or I'm sorry, accumulation, manipulation, and then we have distribution here. So this is what I'm looking at, right? So I'm looking at, essentially, here we have accumulation, manipulation, and then we're looking at distribution right there. Okay. And the last trade we have is good old, speaking of XLM. Now, XLM, I did notice this, and I think I tweeted this out, was XLM has been in this range for almost a year. It's been in this range for 201 days. Imagine holding this for 201 days. I would essentially only like to just sell it. I'd honestly probably take a sell here, maybe get red and then sell off here, and then maybe come back in here and then come back in. So it's it accumulates a lot. It has that kind of chain link type of price action where it will accumulate for the longest of times. So I did notice the accumulation because I was in other trades. I didn't get into it earlier, but I said, you know what? After this break, after the break above, if it does break, I wouldn't mind buying into XLM, which I did because the next key level, you have a lot of runway here. There's a lot of runway here to tag this. And if you look here, I did notate this to myself that this last candle, this wick didn't tap 20 cents. And again, 20 cents, especially with XLM, because it plays nice with psychological levels, it didn't tap into this at all. So this is what I'm looking at. So, and that's again, that's what typically price will do is it will get somewhat close to that target, full off, just cascade down and just downtrend price. And then what will happen is you'll do a lot of accumulation. People will say, oh, it's dead, it's over, blah, 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 only to shoot back up and then reclaim what you thought it was going to hit right here. Price does that all the time. And that's what I'm assuming what will happen here. So I did get into XLM in this trade. We had the flush again, but again, I was very confident where I bought at because we had a key level right here. And look what happened. Flush happened. It wicked the key level down. It even wicked the 100 MA, but price came up, reclaimed this level here. And as you can see right here, we are inching back up. It even retested this key level and we are inching back up here. So I know this is a longer video. I'll try to speak a little bit faster next time if I do one of these non-trade review videos. But as always, I hope these videos help. Um, if anything's needed, like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you think, and happy trading.